Hello dear friends, I am Dr. Rupesh Nakar, Assistant Professor in Botany, SET PT Arts and Science College, Godhra. Today I am going to discuss about topic algae, general characters and classification, which comes in BSc Botany semester 1 as well as in 5. So it will be useful to all the students studying in semester 1 as well as in 5. So I would start introduction of algae. The term algae was first introduced by Linnaeus in 1753, but actual delimitation and naming of algae was done by A.L. de Jussieu in 1789. Algae, simply it means seaweed. As you all know that alga is singular form while algae is plural form. Algae contain diverse habitat, size, organization, physiology as well as reproduction. It is important group of Thallophyta. The study of algae is called phycology, and all those who study algae are known as a phycologist. Friends, here we can see the pictures of Carolus Linnaeus and then A.L. de Jussieu, who tried to introduce algae to the world of botany. Now we would go to study for general features. Friends, first of all we should define the term algae. Algae, it means photosynthetic plants which are autotrophic. After the capturing light energy, they convert light energy into chemical energy to produce their own food. So algae is a plural form and alga is singular form. Now we would go for general characters. Algae are the primitive chlorophyll containing and autotrophic plant. They may be unicellular or multicellular. They have both prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic plants. Cyanobacteria are included in algae as blue-green algae. Basically, prokaryotic algae, it means blue-green algae, reproduce by asexual or vegetative reproduction. In cyanobacteria or cyanophyta group, sexual reproduction is not found, whereas eukaryotic algae reproduce by sexual, asexual and vegetative reproduction. We will see some all the more general features methods eukaryotic alga can go for in the algae. Asexual reproduction generally occurs by fragmentation, formation, fission, for example by zoospore, alpinospore, or some of the in the some algae different spores. It occurs by hormogonia. There are two pictures of algae, body or thallus, so little differentiation in the eukaryotic algae has been given. Almost all algae are aquatic in nature. Sex organs are generally unicellular, but they may be multicellular. After gametic union, embryo is not formed. The zygote undergoes continuous mitosis to form new plant body, but not through the embryo formation. So this is one of the important feature in the algae. Both generation, it means gametophytic stage and sporophytic stage, they are independent to each other. Algae are haplophytic organism, it means they have numerous colorless derivatives. So fusion of two gamete is being shown in the first figure, the upper one. Then how zygote and then new individual is formed is also given here. Life cycle of a green algae is also explained here, so the students can understand what is the sporophyte and what is called gametophytic stage in the algae. Now it is interesting character. Friends, during unfavorable condition, some of the cell of algae removes their flagella and they goes for division of cell content and nucleus. Ultimately it results in the single nucleate cell. In such conditions, cell walls secrete mucilage to protect the whole cell. Such stage is called Pamela stage. Now, asexual reproduction is carried out by different spores such as zoospores, alpenospores, endospores, akinetase, exospores, etc., which on getting favorable condition produces or give birth to the new plant. Now, vegetative reproduction occurs by the fragmentation, cell division or hormogonia method. Dear friends, you know that hormogonia is generally to break different fragments, and then each hormogonia, it means each fragment is converted into new plant. Now, if we talk about sexual reproduction, it is carried out by male and female gametes. So, it is also called fertilization. For fertilization, water is always essential. Without water, fertilization or fusion does not take place in any of the algae. After fertilization, zygote is formed, which is 2n in nature. It means it is diploid in nature. After the process of meiosis, zygote is converted into male and female gametes again, and then after the fusion of male and female gamete, zygote is again produced. So, the process is called alternation of generation, and this process takes place where sporophytic stage, diploid stage is converted into gametophytic or haploid alternatively, generation after generation. So, alternation of generation is one of the important feature of algae life cycle. Friends, sexual reproduction takes place through three different methods. The first one is called isogamy, second one is called anisogamy, and third one is called oogamy. In the figure you can see that, or in the isogamous type, all gametes are equal in size. So, in the A figure you can see that both the gametes are equal. They fertilizes to form zygote. Morphologically but sexually different spores are there, but they look similar and they go for fertilization. In the anisogamy or anisogamous type, one gamete is bigger in size and shape and other one is a smaller, and hence morphologically dissimilar gametes fuse with one another. For example, chlamydomonas, where you can see that both the gametes they differ in size. In oogamous type, male gamete is motive and small, whereas female gamete is non-motile. Male and female gamete fuses to form zygote. In the oogamous type, male gametes are produced in the spermatia, whereas female gametes are produced in female reproductive organ carpegonium. In some species, fertilization occurs without fusion of male and female. Process is called parthenogenesis. For example, Spirochaera. Dear friends, now we will see mode of reproduction in algae. Reproduction, it means it is the process where through the process of reproduction a plant or new baby plant is developed from the mother plant. For reproduction there are three famous systems in alga. First one is isogamy. As we saw earlier in earlier slide, in isogamy male and female gametes are identical or similar in structure. Both of them have flagella and they are both can swim or they are capable of movement. In anisogamy, female gamete is larger and non-motive, whereas the male gamete is small and it is equipped with flagellum, and it makes it capable for movement. The last and very important one is oogamy. It is one kind of sexual reproduction where male gamete is smaller than the female gamete. Both of them have flagella, so both are capable of movement. At the time of fertilization, They can swim in the water and then they go for fertilization. So there are three different methods: isogamous type, anisogamous type, and oogamous types. Now we will see classification of algae. Friends, in 1753 classification of algae has been continuously modified, whereas along with other organism, Carolus Linnaeus in Species Planetarum book included algae in the class cryptogams and fungi. Unger in 1838 grouped algae in lichens and fungi under the Thallophyta. Thallophyta, it means plants having single thallus. They have only single organ for all the different kind of process that take place in their life cycle. Christian in 1962 gave due consideration to this aspect, and he outlined the scheme of classification of different groups or major groups of algae. He introduced Prokaryota and Eukaryota as a primitive and developed group of algae containing prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells respectively. As per International Rules of Botanical Nomenclature (IRBN), alga are classified into 8 different divisions, adding suffix phyta to each division. But G. M. Smith classified algae into 7 different categories. The classification of G. M. Smith is very well known among all the botanists and through the whole world. Dear friends, in the picture you can see that Cryptogamic Botany, a book was written by scientist G. M. Smith, and the classification system is also given in the book. Now we would see what was the different points of classification of G. M. Smith. G. M. Smith in 1955 classified algae into 7 different categories or classes, and these are: first one is Cyanophyta, second one Euglenophyta, third Chrysophyta, fourth Pyrophyta, fifth Chlorophyta or green algae, 6 Phaeophyta, and then 7 one is Rhodophyta. Among different classification systems, classification of G. M. Smith is believed to be more natural and useful. In this system, interrelation of algae, their pigments, their stored food material, motive cells, cell structures, reproduction had taken into account to classify different groups of algae, and this system is practically very useful and it is relevant. Now we would start with first one, that is Cyanophyta. It is also called blue-green algae. Internal structure of a Cyanophyta is very simple. It contains true nucleus and chromatophore are not there. It means chromatophores are lacking. Cells are prokaryotic. It means they are primitive type of. Protoplast is differentiated into peripheral region with oil drops and cyanophycean starch, and non-pigmented central body is there. Protoplast, it means nucleus plus cytoplasm. So it is divided into 2 regions. Now pigments are beta carotene, myoxanthine, C-phycocyanin, C-phycoerythrin. There is complete absence of motive cells, so there is no movement of cells is recorded. Generally, reproduction occurs by asexual method, and sexual reproduction is not found at all in Cyanophyceae or Cyanophyta group. Very famous examples are nostoc, Enabina. They are also called blue-green algae, and they are capable of fixing atmospheric nitrogen for the growth of different plants, and these different plants, they can be cycads or some other bryophytes also. They stay in the roots of this plant, provide nitrogen to the plant, and in the for that they get shelter in the roots of the plant, and on the other hand they provide nitrogen for development of the plant. Now we will see some of the pictures of Cyanophyta group. First one is Oscillatoria, Nostoc, and the Anabina. Now we would see Euglenophyta. Euglenophyta possess defined nucleus and carotenoids. Pigmentation is chlorophyll associated, localized in definite plastids. Cells are eukaryotic. Eukaryotic, it means cells are well developed. They contain most of the cell organelles. Reserve food material is pyramylum. It is an insoluble carbohydrate related to the starch. All are necked unicellular flagellates having 1, 2 or 3 flagella. Reproduction occurs by longitudinal cell division with the exception of one genus which reproduces sexually. Now we would see some of the examples of Euglenophyceae or Euglenophytae. So Euglena stalk, then Peranima is the another species, and Euglena spendens. You can see they contain flagella, they are motive. So these are the general characters and some pictures of Euglenophyta. Now we would talk about yellow green algae. They are also called Chrysophyta. So they represent some of the most abundant kind of life on the earth. They are common component as a phytoplankton. They cover a wide range of habitats, but they are chiefly found in fresh water. There is a range of vegetative body from smallest flagellate to filamentous and colonial forms. Photosynthetic pigments are chlorophyll A, C, chrysolaminarin or leucosin. Reproduction occurs by longitudinal cell division. Key feature is the formation of silica impregnated thick walled cyst from vegetative cell. Sexual homogamy or autogamy takes place by isogamy, autogamy or hologamy type of methods. Here isogamy, it means reproduction or fertilization between two motile cells, means similar kind of cells. Autogamy, it means the fusion of two nuclei only within the cyst, and the hologamy, it means the fusion of protoplast of the two vegetative cells. Some of the examples, here golden algae is very famous in this group. This is Cyanura species, then Dianobryon species, and the very famous diatoms are also under the group of Chrysophyta. Now we would talk about Pyrophyta. It is also called fire alga group. Most of the organisms are unicellular, bearing two usually unequal flagella. It is one of the important character of fire algae. Few are colonial and alga-like form. Cells are eukaryotic, means they are well developed. They possess yellowish green to golden brown chromatophores due to the presence of dinodiaxanthin and pyridinin. Reserve food material is normally starch or starch-like compounds, or in some cases it can be oil or lipid. Common mode of reproduction is cell division, although some produce zoospores, while sexuality has been reported in a few. Means some of them they contain character of sexual reproduction. Here are some of the examples: Cystodinium, Glenadium, Gambridis, Dinoflagellate. These are the common fire algae we can observe on the universe. Now very important, green alga, it is Chlorophyta. So the first one, cells are eukaryotic, means they are very well developed. Pigments are the same as those present in the proportion being located in definite plastids of the higher plants. Storage food is mainly starch. Most of the plant reproduce sexually. It can be isogamy, anasogamy or oogamy type methods. Motile cells may be bi, quadri or multiflagellate, and they are extremely variable in size. So size variability is also one of the important character of Chlorophyta of the reproductive cells. Gametic reproduction is most common feature within the entire taxon in the green algae. To pass away unfavorable condition, heterotrichous forms and the division of labor is clearly seen. This is also one of the important character. They go for certain adaptation to pass away unfavorable condition where survival is difficult. Chlorophyll A, B, carotenophyonin, violaxanthine, zeaxanthin along with lycopene are found as a pigments. Pyrenoids are attached bodies found in chloroplast. Now there are so many algae reported in chlorophyceae group, but here are some of the picture: Halimeda, Codium, Colerpa, Volvox, Dictyosperia, Enteromorpha, Euglena, Spirogyra, Pandorina. So these are the pictures of a green alga. You can go for detailed study through your different reference books. Now we would talk about brown algae. It is also called Phaeophyta. Cells of the brown algae are eukaryotic, well developed. Chloroplast contain golden brown pigments. They are called fucoxanthins. Reserve food material is simple sugar, alcohol, mannitol and complex polysaccharides such as laminarin, or there may be fats in different forms. Motive reproductive cells contain two flagella. Reproduction is isogamy or it can be oogamy. Growth of thallus may be apical or by intercalary meristem exhibiting trichothelic growth. Cell wall is made up of two layers, the inner cellulose layer and outer layer, which is composed of mixture of pectic substance material as well as algin. Algin is very useful commercial product. Now we would see some of the pictures. Sargassum is very common in India and Gujarat. Then Dictyota, Dichotoma, Padina species, Fucus species. There are many Phaeophyta species found in the seashore of India. Here are given some of them. For detailed study you can go to the reference books or you can also find on the different websites. Now we would to the Rhodophyta, which is also known as a red algae. Red algae is mostly found in sea. Most striking character of red algae is presence of pit connection, which is cytoplasmic connection between two cells or cell to cells. There is presence of a special red pigments called R-phycoerythrin and R-phycocyanin. The food reserve is alcohol, oil, but most important one is Floridian starch. So Floridian starch is always present in red alga. Asexual reproduction is carried out by monospore, bispore, polyspore or paraspore, which are all non-motile. Means all asexual spores are non-motile. Sexual reproduction is carried out by oogamous type. male reproductive organ is a spermatangium and female is carpegonium. The sporophyte bears tetrasporangia and tetraspores. Now we will see some of the examples: Porphyra, then Corallina. They look like corals. Ceramium, Gracilaria is very common. Champia, Gelidium. These are some of the example of rhodophyceae. Now comparing some of the alga, you can see that Codium is green algae, so it is chlorophyta. Alva is very famous in green algae. Then you can see that different red algae, Spherococcus species, then Plocanium species. Osmunda is very famous rhodophyceae plant. Then in the brown algae group, you can find Cystoceria, then Podina. There are many species of Podina genus. Sargassum, we have also so many species. So these are some of the common comparison of plants. Friends, here is the slide of some of the references. You should go to these references to study in detail about the content of classification and general characters of the algae. Dear friends, you saw the whole content of the classification and general character of alga, where you studied about 7 different groups of algae with different characters. Now your work is to see again and again the content and try to remember all the characters. Now if you have any question regarding the content or matter, you can give me an email on my given email address. Thank you for your listening, and I hope you have understood the content. Thank you so much.